This is going to be a comparison video of these three microphones. We have the CM1000, and we have the TONOR, and we have the V-Top from left to right. I'll be recording the desktop view here in OBS Studio as I swap these microphones in and out, but I will be sitting at the same place, and the microphone is off to my left, sitting on a table approximately 3 feet away. And the cable on the CM1000 had gotten frayed to the point to where it was shorting out, and so I just got done replacing that. I just used a 10-foot USB A to C and cut the end off and soldered it in and RTV'd it into place into the CM1000. But the CM1000 was a microphone I've been using for a long time and really liked it. And I thought I'd try these two other microphones. They're somewhat less expensive than the CM1000. And what I like about both of them is they have a USB-C port in the back of them. So as your cable gets destroyed, all you have to do is replace your cable instead of having to take the microphone apart and replace it like I did with the CM1000. So now let's take a listen to these three microphones as I swap them in and out. We'll do the CM1000 first, then we'll do the V-Top, which is the one all the way on the right, and then we'll do the TONOR, which is the large one in the middle. The first one that we are listening to here is the CM1000. Now if we look at settings here, we can see where we have the microphone volume set to 88. I'm going to max it out to 100. And so if we go back here and look at our audio mixer in OBS Studio, we can see that we are routinely hitting between -25 and -30 easily, even up to the yellow area. So let's go back to the settings. Let's setting back down to around 88 and look back again. And you can see here that our average is quite a bit lower here. We're between a -45, maybe a -50, sometimes up to a -40. So you want to look at this black bar here as your average. The end of the bar is going to be your peaks. Alright, now I will swap out the CM1000 and we're going to go to this V-Top. Alright, here is the V-Top. Alright, we can see where we have the microphone volume up to 100, and so now we're going to take it down to 88. And now we'll go back to our OBS Studio, and now we can see that our average is between a -30 and a -35 dB. Again, we'll take it up to 100. And you can really see the levels increase even up into the red for the peaks, where the average is somewhere between a -20 and 25, even sometimes between -15 and 20. Now what's interesting is if we back this down just 1% to 99, now we take a look at it. Alright, let's leave it at 100. And now we will go ahead and pull up our next microphone, which is going to be the TONOR. Okay, now that we have our TONOR in, you can see that with the setting at 100, it's pretty much up there between minus 15 and minus 20 on the average. Sometimes minus 20 and minus 25. Now we'll go back into window setting here and we'll back it down to 88. And you'll see that the noise level is pretty low, but for the voice here, we're between a minus, somewhere between minus 30 and minus 40, hovering right around a minus 35. Now if we put this up here at a 99, it's interesting to see what just 1% difference in the window setting makes. So I think there's something getting turned on at 100 that isn't at 99. So you may want to play around with that setting. But obviously, the higher you set the gain in Windows, the more background noise you're going to achieve. Alright, in conclusion, the CM1000 average voice level is minus 30 to minus 25 dB. The V-top is minus 25 to minus 20 dB. And the TONOR is minus 20 to minus 15 dB. Now the CM1000 has served me faithfully for the last decade. The cord just got a little bit frayed and I replaced it, and it works just as it did from day one, which all of these cords will eventually give up the ghost. They don't last forever. But what I like about the V-top and the TONOR is instead of having to solder a cord in, they have a USB-C connection. And out of those two microphones, or actually out of all three microphones, I prefer the TONOR above the other three. It has the loudest voice sensitivity out of the three, and the background noise isn't as bad as the other two at a setting of 100, although I think you'll find it a lot better if you just set the TONOR to a 99 in the Windows setting. For whatever reason, setting it to 100 seems to make quite a bit of difference.
So this is how the TONOR microphone sounds at negative 0.3 decibels on the level meter. So this is over here at negative 0.3. Bring it back and up. Let me raise it up. So here is positive and negative positive 9.2. We're getting up to a higher level. So this is around where people would usually want it at positive 11. You could hear a lot of noise, a lot of white noise. You can even hear the fan in my computer spinning, but that should be a good thing for this type of microphone to pick up, you know, more signals from everywhere, literally. By the way, here is a mute test. So here's a distance test. I am over here, and I'm going all the way to the corner of my room where this whiteboard is, and I'm talking, and I hope that you guys and girls can hear me, and you could be the judge of the sound quality yourself.
Veramente ottimo, è molto utile il fatto di riattivare il microfono e disattivarlo dal microfono stesso. Ci stiamo trovando veramente molto bene con la DAD di nostra figlia. Grazie.